Chapter 2 gets into fighting versus arguing, where fighting is trying to be right, it's trying to have the other person be wrong, power over, versus arguing, where we're using problem-solving strategies to come to some sort of conclusion. If you figure out how to distinguish between fighting and arguing in your life, it might benefit you. I promise you it's benefited me. I've discovered that I fight less and I argue when it's important to me. Chapter 2 goes on to mood, mind, and willingness to act. That is pathos, then logos, before ethos. So changing the mood first, then getting the audiences to change their mind before they're able to act. Appeals to authority is another important concept from this chapter. And that's the idea that we appeal to authority. Well, the teacher says so, the police officer says so, the president says so, as if that has some sort of inherent appeal or positive impact. The fact of the matter is that persons in authority don't always warrant that authority. They may not be good at their job, they may not be good people, but they are in a position of authority. So I say be careful when we appeal to authority. Whose authority are we appealing to and why? I've also used this in a manipulative way with my stepkids. So with my stepkids, I would teach them to question authority, question law enforcement, know your rights. And when the 11-year-old and 13-year-old were fighting about who was going to sit in the front seat of my car, I whipped my phone out and was like, the state of California says you must be 12 years old to sit in the front seat of my car. You are 11. Get your ass in the back seat of my car now. So I appealed to an authority that inherently I taught them to mistrust and to question. And finally, with chapter 2, it's asking for the right amount of change. If you ask for too much, you're easily dismissed. If you're asked for too little, you're not going to have an impact. So my example is meat in the valley. I have issues with the meat industry. I'm a vegetarian, that type of thing. But if I ask my fellow valley people to go vegetarian or vegan, it's too much. It's a meat-eating kind of place. But if I say, hey, think about meat differently, there's going to be no impact on the meat industry or your health. But I can convince you with the right arguments that maybe giving up meat one day a week or going for local meats is a better idea. So too much, easily dismissed. Too little, no change. So it's asking for the right amount of change.